KCMO Talk Radio. Now on FM at 95.7. It's time for What If Wednesday.
What if, instead of having you on this radio station, there was somebody else?
What if the listeners take a break, but we're always here?
Yeah, right. Ain't that the truth, man? What's going on?
That was just a bonus one. All right, sir. What if Patrick Mahomes' burglary suspects turn out to be illegals?
Dare I say Taylor Swift has her eyes open and becomes a conservative?
Talk about a bombshell.
I'm not going to go that far, but Fox 4 had this exclusive report last night that the criminal gang that is alleged to have burglarized Patrick Mahomes' home and Travis Kelce's home are part of a South American criminal enterprise. And if that turns out to be true, well, we know how at least I think the Mahomes may have voted. I don't want to assume anything. But maybe for Travis Kelce and his lovely girlfriend, it is seeing the light of day that Joe Biden's policies led us to the point where South American criminal gangs are targeting Kansas City's biggest superstars, John, right?
But not exclusively, of course.
Of
right?
course.
Yeah, we've got the basketball player, right, in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Got hit up when he was at a game.
Yes.
Then we have somebody here in town who, while not a notable celebrity, I believe had some type of collectibles that got wiped out. So those had to be staked out, I'm sure, you know.
$500,000 in jewelry.
Jewelry it was.
Was stolen from another home in the metro.
All right.
And it's believed to be the same criminal enterprise that hit Kelce and Mahomes.
So, yeah.
So if this is a South American crime ring, which is what Fox 4 is reporting, Leawood police have not confirmed this. But you would think that for people who are all about, open borders, 12 million people, what do you care? If the Lake and Riley story in Georgia doesn't open up your eyes, the young girl who went for a run at the University of Georgia and was allegedly killed by this illegal immigrant, Jose Ibarra, who is standing trial right now, if that doesn't open up your eyes to the issues and the problems, and this doesn't open your eyes to the issues and the problems, frankly, I'm not sure what will. But, man, this is the kind of stuff you have to deal with when you literally do not have a border policy in the country for the last 4 years.
It's cheap and easy to scoff at it and say, oh, the cartels aren't following Mahomes and Kelce. No, it's bigger than this.
Yeah.
It's bigger.
It is.
All right. What if Jackson County Executive Frank White was right to veto the county's gun legislation?
Well, if he was right, it'll be the first time in a while on something. I mean, I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for there, John, but this is the first thing that came to mind for me. Mm-hmm. Blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
Yep.
So the Jackson County legislature overrode Frank White's veto on this gun ordinance that now makes it illegal for those under the age of 21 to carry handguns. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, first off, if it's a violation of state law, it's not going to work out well for you guys. I've already reached out to the Attorney General's office to get some clarity on this and see what their response is going to be. It's going to then cost, likely, the taxpayers thousands of dollars because the legislature is going to fight this thing in court with the county attorneys. So you're going to waste money on this as a Jackson County taxpayer to fight something that Frank White rightfully called unlawful legislation. Frank White is right. It's a tongue twister. It's 4 words I rarely say, so that makes it even harder to say. But Frank White is right. So I look at it and I say, okay, if he's figured this out, why hasn't the legislature figured this out? Because they're going along for their own political futures and their own political skin. And that's what this is about. It's about some of the people on the legislature wanting media attention, wanting to get in the good graces of certain organizations, certain anti-gun groups, raise money, further their own political careers, further their own status in media, and that's the name of the game for the Manny Abarcas of the world and, unfortunately, others on the Jackson County legislature. And the loser is you, the taxpayer. This will not solve crime because the same people who are like, great, you can't carry a handgun if you're under 22 in Jackson County. Okay, So how are you going to enforce this? Stop and frisk? You guys hate that. You think it's racist. So what's your answer then? How do you put forth this ordinance, but then say the only way to really enforce this thing, unless somebody breaks the law, in which case, you already got them on something, what's your way to enforce this without some policy like stop and frisk, which you don't like anyway, which tells you the whole thing is just for show, John?
All right. And what if Elon Musk helps Trump cut tens of thousands of government employees in the first 90 days?
Well, then you will see, I believe, a great reduction in inflation right out of the gates. This will help inflation. I shared this thread on X at Pete Mundo. You can see it there for yourself. But this is what Javier Milei did down in Argentina. He slashed tens of thousands of bureaucrats in his first 30 days. And they were projecting, they had inflation that had that country on the verge of collapse. And by slashing the bureaucracy, it immediately helped with inflation. Because what happened? Suddenly you're not just printing funny money for people who aren't necessarily doing necessary work. And this is not to, I know some of you text in as government employees. I'm not ragging on all government employees. But trust me, there's a lot of fat in these bureaucracies. You'd be naive to think there isn't. These people have to get jobs, get into the private workforce. That helps economically across the board, and everybody wins. Everybody wins. So I am very high on the Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. I can't wait to see how that plays out. There is your What If Wednesday.